roommate doesn't listen to the podcast, which is okay since I can say this. But
I'm not hurt at all.
uh, but whenever my roommate is gone, my quality of life skyrockets. It's like
Oh shit.
it's like I don't know what it is.
All right, we
Perfect.
live.
We live. We are live. Um, as always, is life treating you well today? Besides misplacing your headphones.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Good start to the morning, but life's a little rocky right now.
Yeah. Want to share?
What about? Not really, to be honest.
No. All right. All right.
No. What about you? How's your week?
I've actually been going fairly well. I don't know. My Spotify Discover Weekly, every song hit hard. So
Yeah.
ever since normally I would just start listening to Spotify, meaning the Discover Weekly, and skip through depending on my mood. But I was in the car for like 3 hours, and I was just vibing to every song. And I don't know,
Yeah.
just started the vibe of the week pretty well.
I gotta tap into that more often. I remember I switched from Apple Music to Spotify, and then I discovered that Spotify Weekly thing, and I started fucking around with it, and then I've stopped since. I don't know why.
Dude, it's the most. I don't know. I love it. I love it. Comes out every single Monday, and it's one of my favorite parts about a Monday. I read
Yeah.
one of the books I read last year is called. It was called. It's not was. It's still a book. It is called Tarzan Economics, and it was written by this guy named William Page. And William Page, he was the chief. He wasn't the CEO, but he was like the chief finance officer of Spotify. And what he
Mm-hmm.
did, he uses music as a metaphor or as a vessel to explain economics to the masses. And it's so cool because he started talking about the Discover Weekly and about how, because at first people weren't tuning into Discover Weekly, and they're like, why aren't people doing that? And then it's like, oh, it's because it's Thursday and people like to start new things on like big events in their life. It's like you're easier to start a goal on your birthday or a start of the month opposed to just a random Tuesday throughout your week. So what he
Yeah,
did, well,
I've heard something similar from the book that I'm reading, Atomic Habits. They're talking about how if you are going to start a new habit, you should probably start it on almost like a milestone day. Like you should start it on a Monday or the beginning of a new
mm-hmm.
week or like the beginning of a new month, something like that. A birthday, a Christmas.
Yeah. So he started talking about that, and he was even going into like, still people weren't tuning into Discover Weekly. Why aren't people tuning into Discover Weekly? It was because it was all because they give you like 20 new songs, but it's like 20 new songs. But if you sprinkle a little bit of familiarity in there, so sprinkle some songs that the algorithm already knows that you enjoy, that means that you will tune in longer to that playlist because there is stuff that you're familiar with. And you just start talking about how humans, they like stuff that's different. We all want to be individuals, but at the same time we need something similar too. It's very
Algorithms
crazy.
are going to run the world someday.
Oh, they already do. It's crazy.
Yeah.
um
Have you used the enhanced feature yet on Spotify?
oh, I love that thing. I love it.
Yeah.
It's the craziest
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
ever. It's crazy. Did you
Interesting
enjoy your
stuff.
transition from Spotify to from Apple Music to Spotify?
Oh hell yeah! It definitely put me onto a lot more music than what Apple
Mm-hmm.
Music was doing. And
It's
then you showed me like the whole blend thing too, which I didn't even know about.
right. Oh, that's something that we are gonna do. We're gonna. I guess I was gonna talk to you about this later, but we can do it just live on air right now. Well, not really live, but right now, we're gonna make a. At some point, we are gonna do an episode about music. And I feel like
Hmm.
you're ready for an episode about music. I'm excited for an episode about music. At some point, it's gonna happen. But with that being said, we're gonna collaborate on a playlist, and then we're gonna talk about the music on the playlist, and then we're going to I don't know, make it out to the masses for our listeners and viewers to vibe
I'm
with
surprised that we
us.
haven't done this already.
Me too. Me too. And I just said the title of today's episode, Vibes. It is your boy, Wingard, and the other voice that you are hearing is Triz. Couldn't get it by now. Today is all about vibes or energy. Energy's our vibe. It's a vibe. It's the vibe thing.
It's a vibe thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually very excited about today's episode because, I mean, it's a vibe. You know, it's like one of my favorite verses in any song was in Backyard by Coda the Friend when he says, "It's a vibe, you can dance if you want to." Love it. Love that
Yeah,
song.
either you feel the vibes or you don't feel the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the vibes.
What do you have for today?
Well, first I have the definition. According to Urban Dictionary, it says a mood or aura that someone radiates while doing something. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that for sure.
Right?
Yeah. Which
It's
leads
crazy
me into the
when you
next
get-
question.
Oh,
Sorry,
alright,
go,
let's
no,
go.
no. All right. If you were a color, what color would you be?
Ah. Oh, see this. See, these questions are always so hard. What color would I be? What color would I be? I don't know. I want to say like violet or like I don't know, violet or orange. I don't know. Those are
I
two
guess-
polar opposites.
I could see a violet. You seem like a violet kind of person to me. You kind of have like a random energy to you sometimes. So like,
It's
see
like
violet. but it's cool. It works.
Right.
It's not too I feel like orange is like really spontaneous. Like you really don't know what the fuck's gonna happen next. While yours is like you're random, but like it makes sense. So,
Right?
like,
I don't
like a
know. It's
violet.
like there's always like a weird method to my madness, you know. And also,
Yeah.
I'm a Gemini too. And you know how us Geminis get. I'm not too big into zodiac signs, people. So that's the most I know is that Geminis are a little bit crazy. But
I was gonna say I have nothing to contribute to this conversation except I don't know shit about astrology.
I think you're a Capricorn or something.
I'm a Capricorn. I did have someone analyze my birth chart once, and I still have it on my phone, but like I don't remember any of what it said.
It's like you get those girls who are the crystal holders. I don't know, those people are kind of just red flags for
Dude,
me.
where do you think I got the birth chart from?
It's crazy.
Shout out to her though. I don't know if she listens to this, but she's cool. But
Is she cool?
for sure. Yeah, she's cool, but
she a
you're
little
describing
bit
her pretty
cuckoo?
spot on right now. A little bit.
No, it's crazy when you start walking through life. I guess I'm a people watcher. You know that I'm a people watcher. But when you start like really observing people, you can start picking up on, I don't know, just like the energy and vibes that go on throughout life. One thing that I've noticed is that you can see that a lot of people are just miserable walking
Oh,
through
yeah.
life. It's like you see someone, you can just tell that life just like slapped them across their face a couple times. But then you also see people who are just radiating some fun and good energy, some vibes, and you're just like, we need people like you in this world because a lot of people are miserable.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you come across those miserable people because like it really makes you wonder what's going on inside of their mind. You know, there's a person that I was talking to yesterday, and it was almost like you would talk to him, and there would be like a second or two delay before he would respond, and it was kind of like it had a robotic kind of feeling to it, and it's like. You know, the conversation itself, there was nothing wrong with that, but just like the way that the conversation was playing out was like, it was just weird. I remember talking to my coworker, I was like, there's something off about that, you know, and I
Right.
don't know exactly what it is.
It's like you really just start to look at people and you're just like, what happened in your life to make you think or feel this way? Because it's
Yeah.
like, it's not, I don't know. It really
Especially
just,
growing up in this era of, you know, all these mass shootings and stuff. I mean, I don't know about you, but like I'm very suspect of a lot of people. You know, some people
Oh,
just kind of give off that energy, you know?
oh yeah. They made that, they're making a movie about a school shooting. And I was like, you cannot, it's already mainstream enough, but now you can't make it a movie. If you're making a movie, it's going to become very mainstream. And then now you're going to have kids more scared now than they previous were about these school shootings. I don't know. It's one of the I don't know. Hollywood kind of lost a lot of points in my book with that one.
Yeah, there's a movie out. I haven't seen it, but my coworker told me about it. It's called Elephant, and it has to do with a school shooting. It's like a real depiction of like a school shooting. Not actual footage, but like it is actors and stuff, but it's like
No, I think
leading
that's
up
the
to
movie.
the actual event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think I'm literally talking about the same thing.
Oh, I think this one's already out. I don't know what
Oh,
year it
well,
came out.
I
Though. He
don't.
told me about it a couple months ago.
Went to the movies one time in like the last year, and I saw the commercial or the preview. Is it preview? Is it a preview or commercial?
Preview.
The trailer. I saw the trailer for it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
I mean, do you are you interested in dark stuff like that?
what do
You
you
know?
mean by? I mean, like, there's been times where I don't know. I watch Criminal Minds sometimes, and like sometimes I'm like, I don't know. It's like stuff. You have little to no control of a lot of things in life, so I don't see what's the point of like thinking about it too much.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a reason why these serial killer, mass murderer documentaries are so popular on Netflix. I mean, the moment one drops, they're number one every time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Dahmer thing just happened. There was the Ted Bundy tapes, the Gacy tapes, the Night Stalker, and every single time they drop, number one. You know, so
Yeah,
like there's some sort of like weird, and me too, because I do kind of find it interesting. But there is some sort of like weird, uh, like fascination with that dark energy. Maybe it's because like you just don't understand it. It just
I
doesn't make
think
any
it's the
sense.
I think it's the fear aspect. You know, it's the reason why, like, what catches attention more, happy news or bad news? Why do you want to pay attention to bad news more than you pay attention to happy news?
Yeah, you ever heard of the negativity bias?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it has something to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
And
you know,
then
I'm actually kind of shocked that, like, they haven't, I don't think they've really made any documentary about a mass shooter, have they? It's been all serial killers and stuff. I haven't seen any about mass shooters.
no, no,
Some random ones on YouTube, but
because typically it's just some 15-year-old who got a hold of some guys, their dad's gun.
yeah. That's a serious problem in society, bro. Why is it that, like, all these young people feel the need to grab weapons and shoot random people?
Because there's, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know.
Dark energy, man.
Dark energy. Dark energy. That I don't I guess everyone has the possibility to possess that power.
Yeah.
But I don't get why. I don't get why I need to mow down some 3-year-old. What did he do to
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Wait, you remember Call of Duty, what was it? Modern Warfare 2.
I think I know
The
where you're going with this.
the no
What?
Russia or for Russia thing?
Explain.
When they just we went up in the airport and you just started mowing down people.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't think I ever really played the mission myself, but I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. It was weird because like before you played, you had the option of skipping it or not. So they gave you the option of like, yes, you can just mow down all these innocent civilians, or you can just skip that part. But it's like,
Oh,
why even put that in the game?
yo, that's fucking weird. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that
And
they
then
give you the option.
yeah, they give you the option, and then you had like, it might have been like some weird social study, but a social experiment. But like on YouTube, you had YouTubers just like ha 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 ha, ha, I'm killing all these. But then other people were just like, yo, this is kind of fucked up. Why are we doing this?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to research that, dude. Whoa, that really just like tripped me out. I didn't know that. Like the fact that they give you the option to actually play the mission or not is,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that's strange.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. But then there's also studies saying that stuff like that is a way for people to release that energy in a healthy way.
Yeah, they call it catharsis. I think
Is it
I found the
catharsis?
report. Yeah, catharsis.
So who knows? Who knows? Who knows what's right, what's wrong? And it's like we're all figuring this stuff out as it comes to, you know.
Yeah.
So it's everything is really just a trial and error.
Yeah, it's a weird phenomenon that's happening at this day and age. You know, and it's like if you're 50 years into the future from now, listening to this podcast, I wonder if it's even still happening at that point, or like if it's just stopped. I feel like it's just like a era kind of thing.
I just watched the movie Gamer.
What is it about?
It's kind of like Ready Player. So basically, it's kind of like the movie Death Race.
Yeah.
So it's like Death Race, where people like prisoners are fighting for their freedom, but their body gets sold to the public, and you're playing a video game, but the people who are playing it are real people.
Oh, my coworker told me about this too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep describing.
Now, so it's a very interesting movie, but basically on top of that, so you have like that side where it's a violent video game, but then you have another side where it's a open world, free to play game, and you log into the game. Well, you can get the implant or whatever, and then you just sell your body to someone else for X amount of hours, and they control you. It's kind of like
they control you.
Yeah, that's the thing. At all times, you are being controlled by someone else.
So your life is in someone else's hands, pretty much.
Yeah. But it's kind of like when you get onto, I don't know, on the internet, you have some 50-year-old guy sitting on the couch, but in reality, he's acting like he's like a sexy hottie girl, catfish. I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird.
That's super weird. That's a weird concept.
Mm-hmm.
I'd check it out though.
I mean, like, I guess the movie itself is really stupid. It's not like the greatest movie, but if you watch it, it's an interesting movie to think about.
I think we're in a simulation.
I wouldn't be shocked, dude.
Yeah. The math always adds up. That's all I'm saying. 2 + 2 always seems to equal 4 for some reason.
Right? No, I wouldn't be shocked. But I mean, like, no matter what, I think about that Rick and Morty episode when Rick's battery, his spaceship, was powered by a mini civilization, but then that mini civilization figured out the mini civilization, they powered the whole entire society off of another civilization, and they just kept on going down. And I just died because I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, everything's a closed ecosystem. Are we even a ball floating through space right now, or is this just what we're being told?
Right. Maybe we're just powering somebody's car battery.
Like, we really don't know. No matter what, my life is more important than your life. Your life is more important than my life. At the end of the day, everyone has that level of consciousness, but goes back to that. What did you say in the Shower Thoughts episode? What's the point? What is the point? Everything comes back to that. What is the point?
Yeah, true.
It's weird.
we spiraled way down that rabbit hole. If I was a color, I'd be blue.
Is that what we were talking about?
Yeah. If I was a color, I would be blue. I remember.
That's where we started. Was the color?
Yeah.
How
I remember.
the fuck did we get there?
I don't know. That was a trip. I remember my cousin always used to say, she used to tell me to always be calm, cool, and collected, and I kind of feel like I do kind of strive to be that to the best of my ability, and I feel like that's a blue thing. I say blue.
Well, like I said, I've never seen you hot or angry before, so.
Yeah. You know what's weird? It's like, the weirdest part about it is, like, I remember learning in psychology about temperament and just how different people have different temperaments. So, like, sometimes, like, I am pissed off and angry, but, like, even when I am pissed off and angry and I feel like I'm coming off as pissed off and angry, I'm not. It seems like from the outside looking in, everyone still looks at me as, like, really calm. So that's always been a weird thing for me.
Gotta yell. Raise your voice sometimes.
Yeah, I even asked my coworker, too, when I was at work. Like, when people walk in, I greet them. I say, hey, how's it going? And, like, sometimes they won't answer me. And one time I did, and I'm like, I really don't talk loudly, do I? Because it happens a lot when I say, like, hi, how's it going? Like, I'll say it damn near at the top of my lungs. Hi, how's it going? And, nothing.
No, it's... I guess you do kind of talk very soft. I don't know. I feel like you talk at the appropriate value. I never feel like you're yelling, but I never feel like, those people who are whisper talkers and you have to lean in very, very closely to hear.
Yeah, I know one now.
Do you know one now?
I do know one now. Yeah.
That couldn't be me. But
Yeah.
I don't know. You are a calm, cool, and collected person. I've never seen you lingering, and I've known you for how many years? I can't really count
A
well,
lot.
but um, but I never. I do think that you're a calm, cool, and collected person. I
But
remember
it's the
in
same thing with like, it's the same thing with this quiet person too, where it's like, I mean, if I were to try and make him like angry or pissed off, and like he started quote unquote yelling at me, like what would that yell actually sound like? Like does it even sound like a yell, or does it sound like he's just talking normally?
yeah, that's a good point. That is a very good point.
Yeah.
What do you think of? I guess we talked about the zodiac signs. Not really. You and I are both not into it. But
Mhm.
how do you know when you vibe with someone?
Conversation. If
Conversation.
it flows, yeah, if it flows well, then that's usually the biggest sign right there. It's like you don't feel like you have to force it, or you don't feel like it's being forced out of you. It's just like a natural back and forth. Like sometimes I'll have a conversation with somebody, and like afterwards I'll literally forget what it is that we talked about, just because like I was just going along with it. It was really easy.
Yeah, I was in a situation not too long. I love my coworkers. Like the type, pilots are very specifically. They're all very similar. They all think the same. They're. I love them. Love them. Do I want to hang around them 24/7? No, I do not. I can't. I was out hanging out with these people, and all of them are my coworkers. They started talking. This is like, think about it. It's like 12:30 at night. We're at a pizza place, and then they just start saying, they start practicing what they do in the flows of work. Like, oh, you're supposed to do this, not this. I don't know why the company wants to do this when we really should be doing this. And I started looking around. I literally felt my energy, because like I was high energy, and then they started talking about that battery just drained straight out.
Man.
And I was sitting there just like, I was like, guys, if you keep talking about this, I'm leaving. And they're like, well, what do you mean? You guys, you don't think this is important? Why does the company want? I was like, I don't know why the company wants us to do it. Personally, I'm here. I'll do whatever the company wants me to do as long as the check clears. As soon as the check stops clearing, that's when I'll start asking these questions. But the check is clearing. They don't pay me to make this decision. They pay me to do my job. I'm doing my job. You worry about that. You do that. Me?
Blank period.
Right? So I don't know. They just, like, I literally, like, to go off of what you said, it is like really just like a natural flow when the conversation flows, and really when you're just not putting up an act to be around that person. You're not saying something that, oh, I'm gonna say this to appease them. You're not doing that. When it's just like, I'm being me. I don't care what nobody says. I'ma be me, stay hood to the street, out here grinding.
Oof. Yeah, I feel that. I feel like the number one rule when hanging out with coworkers outside of work is don't talk about work.
Right.
I feel like that should be like rule one in the book.
Your screen just went black for me. Oh, it's back. It's back.
Yeah, it
We're
popped
back.
up on my screen, but we're good.
We're good.
Ignore that.
But no, that's number one rule. Like, it's like, don't talk about work.
Yeah.
Don't do it. That is anyone out there. When you're hanging around your coworkers, it can always be a fun time. Just do not talk about work. What's the point? You just like. That's also something I've been going out on dates more, and the one thing that I say, I'm like, I talk to her, and as soon as like work is brought up, I'm like, look, depending on how this night goes, we could be talking about work for the rest of our lives. What's the point of talking about work right now when we just met each other? We really need to talk about work right now. we're not gonna work out anyway. So
Yeah.
let's just talk about other stuff. Tell me something that's interesting about you. Tomorrow we can talk about work. Just right now, work does not matter.
Yeah. Especially like when you're looking for someone to, actually like date. It's like one of the things that you're looking for when you're looking for someone to date is to escape from work.
Mm-hmm.
Because you do work when you're away from that person. You don't want to go to work and then come back and talk about more work stuff.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Unless you're
for me.
venting, then you might want to talk about work stuff. But you
Unless
get the
you're
point.
fit. Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
naturally, I mean, you're gonna have to be supportive to that person at all times. So, like, if you need to vent, vent. But like, what's the point? It's like on top of that, you separate lives. You separate your work life from your home life. I get to see my wife when she walks in the door and be like, "Oh, thank God, I get to see you," opposed to, "Oh, I wonder what Jerry did this time."
Yeah.
It's.
I want someone to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You could say you want someone to vibe with.
Here he goes. Do you think you're a vibe?
I do think I'm a vibe. I think I'm a good time. I think I'm a fantastic time to be around. Or the complete opposite, because people don't understand me well enough, and people are miserable around me. But then I just don't vibe with. That's the problem that I get into. When I know someone doesn't like me, I just start doing me more to bug them, because then I start having more fun with it. That's a toxic trait that I have. It's a very
Yeah.
toxic trait. But if I know they don't like me, if like like in a friend group, and it's like I'm talking to someone, but then this one person specifically doesn't like me, and I'm like, I know they don't like me. I'm like, "Hey Jessica, you enjoyed your drink over there?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I'm like, "Oh, what you sipping on?" You already asked me that. I don't know. It's toxic traits.
That is
I'm,
pretty toxic.
it's,
It's pretty fucking toxic.
I'm forever getting better, guys. That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah. Word.
What about you? Are you a vibe?
I think so. I like just in general. I think I'm pretty easy to talk to. I don't think it's too hard to like really conversate with me. So
Mhm.
just based on that, I'm always just trying to go with the flow of life. And there's ups, downs, and in betweens and all that. And I'm just kind of riding the wave. I'm just
What
there.
element would you be?
What element would I be?
Yeah, what element?
What do you mean? Like out of the like earth, fire,
Avatar. Yeah.
water.
Water.
Yeah, water for sure. Water.
I can see it as water.
You?
I would be air. I like air.
Yeah,
Just
you're a
good-
pilot.
See, I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that. I told someone that if I could be anything in the world, I would want to be a cloud, just going with the flow. And they're like, "Oh, it's because you're a pilot." I'm like, no, it's because they just float and they just go with the flow wherever the wind takes them.
Clouds are made out of water.
That's a good point. Maybe I'm water.
Yeah.
Maybe I think I might just be water.
Yeah. Siddhartha Herman Hesse, the river is everywhere. Take that how you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Some real shit.
I forgot about the huge metaphor in that book.
Yeah. Have you ever been around bad energy? I know you have.
Yeah.
Talk about it. You don't have to name names or nothing, but I mean, what does that feel like to you?
So
You actually did just talk about it a little bit. Being
I
around
did. Well,
somebody-
it all comes down to like the battering getting drained from you. And the book 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Yeah, I just name dropped too, or source dropped or whatever. But one of the laws of power is eliminate yourself from all infections, or something like that. But he was talking about, because you know the book 48 Laws of Power. You read it, right?
I haven't actually. I know it, but I haven't read it.
It's a lot, but it's very
It's a big book.
interesting at this. It's a big book. It's a big boy. It's a big boy. It's a big boy, and it's a wide boy. So it's big and wide too. It's not something you read in the airport. No,
Fat ass
this is it's a mantelpiece.
Yeah, sure.
But he says eliminate yourself from all infections. Infections being people. If you're around people who don't bring you up, there's not much of a reason to be around them because their problems are going to become your problems, and you already have so much more on your plate to worry about. So what's the point of worrying about someone else's problems? And then at that point, it's gonna be like a leech, just sucking on your energy.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick told me one thing that kind of stuck with me. Misery loves company. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of miserable. We already talked about. There's a lot of people who are miserable.
Pity
And
parties, man.
mm-hmm. And they would like someone else to be miserable with.
Mm-hmm. It's like those.
At,
It's like the goth kids from South Park.
mm-hmm.
One's
Yeah.
dragging on a cigarette. One's flipping his hair.
Mm-hmm.
The one's mad at her mom.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so like I don't know. It was Saipan was a journey for me, but it was really weird. It was like the second that source of negative energy left, the quality of my life just skyrocketed. I slept more. I ate more. It was like insane how dramatic the difference was from when that negative energy was here and then when it was gone. It was insane.
Yeah. It's kind of weird how like when you are caught up in some bad energy or whatever, like when you're caught up in a mood, you don't really realize how much that mood affects you until you're out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh shit, like then all of a sudden things just kind of start improving.
But it's also interesting too because your friends and family are the first ones to see your energy change. The people who are close to you. And I don't. It's one of those. You get what I'm saying though? It's like if I see you moping around, I'm like, yo, dude, what's going on? You're not you today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting because like bad energy can take a hold of you.
Yeah, I was really at a dinner the other day, and I had just gotten off of work, and I don't remember why, but I was just like kind of in a bad mood, and like no one called me out on it, but like I could kind of tell that I was in a bad mood, and I kind of feel like everyone else can sort of tell that I'm in a bad mood. And like when I'm in a bad mood, I don't talk. It's like I'm not being annoying. Like I'm not killing the energy. I'm not killing the vibe or anything. I'm just quiet. I don't really feel like saying anything.
I remember. No, I do hear you on that one because I don't know. You in a bad mood. I do think that's kind of like a rarity. But it's still significant. You can have a bad mood.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. I one time in I got this frequently a lot. It was kind of something that I was working my way through. But in high school, my teacher she said she's like, Miles, because it was right before we were gonna graduate, or I don't know what year it was, but like summer was coming up, and she's like, Miles, I'm gonna miss you, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna miss you too, Miss Hanson. Shout out, Miss Hanson, you were a G, my favorite teacher.
Shout out to Miss Hanson, bro.
And I was like, oh, thank you, and she's like, I don't know what it is, but whenever you walk through the door, you just brought the class up, and whenever you weren't here, the class was at a completely different vibe. But whenever you come back, it's like, huh? It's like I don't. Apparently, she noticed that, and then on top of that, in college when I was playing lacrosse, my coach said he was like, Miles, I don't know what's going on, but you had a bad practice today. I don't know what it is. Is there anything that we can do? Your energy's off. And like whenever your energy's off, we don't have a good practice, and we have a big game coming up, so we need your energy.
Yeah,
Which I like. Now I like having that effect. I always like having that effect on people, but at the same time, it did put pressure on me to like always keep my energy high, and I could not have a bad day. And then
I feel that.
Yeah, I had to sit back, and I think I might have touched on this when I was going through therapy, but I had to sit back and be like, no, it's not my job to carry around the workload of keeping people up all day.
Hmm.
I like doing it. I don't do it. I do it for me. I just enjoy life for what it is. But I fuck with it, you know. Keeps giving me the compliments and the love. But I guess I do understand where you're coming from because it has happened to me as well.
Yeah, there's something about realizing the positive effect that you have on other people. Like when you watch other people react to just who you are. It's like
Hmm.
it's not even like you're intentionally trying. You're just being you. But like for some reason being you just it influences people, and then you then hear about it, and then
Yeah,
you feel like there's this need to keep up that persona, or else like everything is gonna suck.
that
So
perception, or not perception, but yeah, exactly what you said, persona of it.
yeah, which like I kind of feel a similar thing at work too. Where I mean, my coworker had said something to me where there was a day where I was in the back. I was just like organizing the stock room or whatever. So I was back there for like a couple of hours. I came back and then my coworker had pointed out that there was a clear difference between me being there and me not being there. Like that just made me kind of stop and think. Like I don't really realize the effect that I'm having on other people. Where like I do sort
Hmm.
of bring up the I don't know what I do, to be honest, but like there's just a difference between me being there and me not being there, and like that was the first time
You're
I'd
a
ever
good
thought about
soul.
it.
You're just like a genuine good soul. You can recognize people who are just good souls,
Hmm.
who walk around life and the earth with the fullest attention. Is it attention? Intention
Hmm.
to just like not bring people up, but just kind of show them like, yo, dude, just let's sit back and relax a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
But
good point. You do recognize good souls, like people who have like real pure good intentions.
yeah, yeah, it's like you look at them, or like they look at you with genuine intrigue of to get to know who you are, not of how can I take advantage of this person.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's amazing. But to go on the
That's the
complete
best connection I have too.
opposite of that, to go on the opposite of that, it's very weird. But my roommate doesn't listen to the podcast, which is okay since I can say this. But
I'm not hurt at all.
uh, but whenever my roommate is gone, my quality of life skyrockets. It's like
Oh shit.
it's like I don't know what it is. Like I don't hate him, I don't love him, but the best weeks, nights I've had in the city just so happen to be days when he's not here.
Hmm.
And then he comes back and I just go straight back to baseline.
I feel that. Yeah, I got something similar going on.
Nah, it's a vibe thing. What is that
It's a vibe
podcast?
thing.
Hindsight?
Yeah,
Hindsight?
hindsight. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
dope. If you're
He's a
listening to this,
dope.
go check out Heinz, man. He's cool.
Mm-hmm. It's a vibe thing.
Hmm. Uh, whose energy do you like to be around?
One thing that I realized, I like theater people a lot. I like
Yeah,
being
they're very
around,
bubbly.
right?
Very bubbly.
They're very bubbly. It's like I've never had a bad time with someone who was in a theater program.
Hmm.
They're just, it might be like the artistic side of them,
Hmm.
but I vibe with theater people. They're just fun, enjoyable people to be around.
Yeah, most of the time. Sometimes you run into like one or two where it's just maybe a little bit too dramatic. If you
Oh,
know what
oh
I mean.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But but 99% of them are great.
Yeah, like, but I consider those to be outliers. They're
Yeah,
always the outliers.
yeah,
Um,
facts.
I do not like being around the accountant, lawyer,
So stiff.
right? Right? I can't do it with
So
them.
stiff.
I can't do it. Well, it comes down to like type A versus type B. I like being around type B people. They're
Yeah.
fun. They're fun. They can relax. They can let loose a little bit. But then you get those
Yeah.
type A. They have a stick up their ass. They're walking around. They're like,
Yeah.
I make a joke. They're like, technically speaking, that's not accurate. And I'm like, it's a joke. It's a
Right.
joke.
Which like
They're
there are uses in society for like those very logical thinking people. You know, don't get us like we need those kind of people for sure. Those are the scientists. You know, those are the people that are like
Right.
making big ass breakthroughs and like and they'll teach you shit. Like when you listen to them, like they will genuinely teach you some shit. But you know, sometimes you're not looking for that. Sometimes you're just kind of trying to kick back and have a beer.
Right? So you've seen the movie Dead Poet Society, right?
Actually, no.
Oh!
I will take your advice on this one. I will listen. I will watch Dead Poet Society.
Ow! I got stabbed. Ow!
I'm sorry.
So
That'll
this
be
is
the
gonna-
that'll be the next movie that I watch. I will say that now. That will be the next movie I watch.
How did you not watch Dead Poet Society? Shout out to Robin Williams, R.I.P. You were a G.
Yeah, R.I.P. Robin Williams, man. That really kind of messed me up when that happened.
Mm-hmm. So in Dead Poet Society, there's a part, this isn't going to spoil it, but there's a part in the book where he's talking to all the students. And he says, being doctors, lawyers, engineers, architects, they're all very noble pursuits. But music, theater, poetry, literature, that's reasons to be alive, to live.
Yeah.
And he was teaching these very tough-minded people, and like, you have to be this and that, to just like, hey, you have to express how to live. Because at the end of the day, everyone needs to express what they're feeling some way or another. You can express it with a pencil and paper, or you can express how you feel with a machine gun. Which one's more healthy?
Yeah.
Right?
Uh,
Currently, society thinks that machine guns is a little bit more healthy than pencil and paper. But like, imagine not being able to express how you feel.
yeah. I wouldn't like that.
Mm-hmm. You couldn't do it with your words. You couldn't do it with your body.
It's like being in
Nothing.
prison.
Yeah, being a prison in your body. It's just like that one poem I read on the podcast. Like, imagine feeling, what did it say? Imagine having your whole entire existence at the tip of your tongue. Like, imagine that feeling of just how you feel internally. And just, it's right there. It's right there. But you just can't get it out in any
Words don't do
form.
it justice, man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or you really need like some sort of artistic medium to really, and you and I had touched on this before too, but you know, when it comes to like music and painting and you know all that, like it does more than just say words. There's emotion behind it. You know, it's like when you hear someone like, you know, Billie Holiday singing, you know, it's like it's more than just the words that she's saying. It's the way that she feels about what she's saying. There's
Right.
a difference between those two things.
I've been listening a lot to James Brown lately. Have you ever listened to James Brown?
A little bit. I used to when I moved to North Carolina in second grade. We had a student. His name was James Brown.
No.
That
Oh,
was
that's
kind of
interesting.
random, but
Yeah.
and he had an afro. James Brown had an afro, right?
I think he had a perm.
Oh, okay, I'm wrong.
We should bring
Anyway.
back perms too. That should be a thing. Let's
No,
get back.
We don't need that. We can leave that where it is.
It's too soon. Too soon to bring back perms.
Yeah, you can bring back the perm. I'm good.
How crazy would it be if I just dedicate the rest of my life to bring perms back?
Just know I'm judging you.
It's like that one commercial where they start off, everyone just starts shaving their eyebrows because that's like the new fad. But then you have the one person who has a unibrow, and then they're like, "Oh, okay."
I haven't seen that.
I guarantee if Kanye West came out and he had a unibrow, no, a perm, everyone's gonna get perms the next day.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Davis had the unibrow thing going.
No, yeah.
I don't think he still has it though, but he was for sure rocking a unibrow.
Is Anthony Davis still a thing?
Well, he's a basketball player.
I know, but is he still playing?
I don't really keep up with basketball, but I think so.
Basketball is not your favorite sport?
No, actually, I really like fighting. I really like combat sports.
You don't like the way they dribble up and down the court?
I do like it. It's just like if I'm gonna watch something, like there's something really exciting about watching two people get in a cage and fight.
But they keep it so fresh on the microphone. It's like there's
What?
no interruption when the game's on.
What are you saying? Moving on.
Okay, so you like fighting?
Yeah. What's your superpower?
What's my superpower?
Yeah,
I like giving out compliments.
it's a good.
Oh,
answer.
wait,
I was
wait,
expecting
wait,
like an actual.
Wait,
I was
are you
expecting an
talking
actual
about
superpower,
superpowers, or you're talking about
but.
actual? Okay, all right. I thought that was
Yeah,
more literal.
hey, that's a superpower too. Not everyone does that.
I watched Deadpool, and the girl who said that she's lucky, and then they're like, luck is not a superpower. I thought that was pretty cool. What would my superpower be? I think teleportation would be dope.
I think it would be too. Just being able to go anywhere at any time.
Mm-hmm. I could get down with that.
I always thought about that. Like when I have homework and stuff, I could just teleport to Hawaii and do it.
Right?
Come back home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
would
feel
do
like you would have a lot less stress if you could just teleport. If there's a situation you don't want to be in, teleport.
that. Oh, it would be insane. You just get out of that situation. You're just like,
Exactly.
you forget your keys. Boom, boom.
Yeah. What would you
Already
need keys for? You can teleport.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, that's a good point. I wouldn't need a car key or anything.
Yeah, that was funny.
I always thought about this. It's like, do birds enjoy walking around when they're on the ground?
That's a good question, actually. Probably not. I guess it's like, you could drive to the store or you could walk to the store. I mean, you'd prefer to drive, but if you have to walk, you'll walk, right?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Because they have two very strong modes of transportation. They have flying and wait. What's your superpower?
I said shapeshifting.
Shape shifting.
Yeah, just being able to blend in with any situation, with like any group of people, to shapeshift into an animal and like maybe communicate with animals, stuff like that. I could explore the water if I could shapeshift into like a turtle or something. I feel like there's a lot you can do with that superpower. That's
What's
like really
that?
beneficial.
What's that one dude in Teen Titans? Beast Boy.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, if I wanted to maybe go somewhere where I wasn't allowed to go. Like I could shapeshift into Joe Biden, walk into the White House. Yeah, there's a lot you can do with that.
Yeah, you can shapeshift into Joe Biden.
Yeah.
By all means, shapeshift into Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm. I can't talk like Joe Biden though.
How does Joe Biden even talk?
Barely.
Barely. Barely.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was funny. That was funny.
What about islands? There's definitely an energy attached to islands. So as a person who's lived on an island, how do you feel about that?
I love islands. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I like. It's like we talked about it a lot, but when I lived on an island, it was so isolating. You would climb to the top of the mountain. I forgot the name. I think it's like I forgot the name of the mountain, but it's not a mountain. It was only like 1,000 feet. But you climb to the top, and 360 degrees around you, you just see open water, blue open water, and then it's kind of like you zoom out of your Sims world, and you're like, this is what I have to work with. And then you just live. That's the thing. All you get to do there is live. You live. You go to the beach every single day. I love it.
Yeah, I remember going to Hawaii during my senior year of high school. I really wish I was. I wish I could go back like as an older person because like I was still young and immature and like didn't really know how to take in the experience. But one of the things that really stuck with me was being so disconnected from the mainland and then just being like you said isolated on that
Mm-hmm.
single plot of land surrounded by water. There is just like a very specific feeling about that you just can't describe. It's just kind of a part of the island. It's like just how you actually have the mountain and then the land and all the stores and all the people. It's like there also is this energy that comes along with it. It's just in the air.
Yeah, I mean, like, you
There's
get
something
that
really
vibe.
beneficial about having that.
Mm-hmm. You get that vibe from a lot of places. Like there's like coastal city vibes. There's coastal city vibes. There are city vibes. There's mountain vibes, desert vibes, and each vibe is different. Each vibe is very, very different, but
Yeah.
they are there. Give me 1 second. I need to text this guy.
Yeah. You're right. City vibes are cool too. Being in Chicago and shit,
Mm-hmm.
riding public transportation, the museums, the people, and like there's a lot to like or not like about it as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes people can be pretty rude, just trash all over the place, but like at the same time, you know that everyone's hustling,
Mhm.
everyone's moving.
This guy, yeah, we'll talk about it later. But no, it is different because I think it really all just comes down to, I mean, like, it's kind of like we're saying what you vibe with. It comes down to really what you just vibe with. Like, I was in New York and I was in Queens. And I was like, yo, I do not vibe with this. This is just too much for me. There's too many people walking around, too many cars. It's just too. It's like sensory. It was just. It was sensory overload. But like, when you're on the beach, all you see is an endless horizon, and then what's behind you is just It's like endless horizon, civilization behind you.
Yeah,
So it's just less for me.
yeah. When it comes to New York too, I think like there's a big difference between the boroughs too. Where it's like, I mean,
Mhm.
being from Brooklyn is completely different than being from is Staten Island, one of the boroughs.
I think I don't know.
Well, we'll just go with it. Like
You can
being
say-
from Brooklyn is
You could say Bronx.
Bronx.
I know Bronx is a borough.
Okay, there we go. So like being from Brooklyn is complete, unless it's the same thing. I might sound so dumb right now, bro.
Just so we know, we're not from New York.
We are absolutely not from New York. So if you're from New York listening to this, I am so sorry. That was super disrespectful. But being from one borough is completely different than being from another borough.
Mhm.
Like there's just different energies going around in each of them.
Well, it just comes down to the community, you know. That was like the most interesting thing about biology for me was studying. It's like you have an ecosystem. What is it? Yeah, I don't know. It's like there's different levels to that. You have the individual, then you have like the herd, then you have like the family, and like each
Yeah, like
one
the
of those,
community, the state.
Mhm.
Yeah.
each one of those gets bigger and bigger, but they all fit into like one closed system. You know.
Yeah. Even just
It's
being
like-
from like the Midwest in general too. I mean, there's a big difference between like being from urban Chicago than like suburban Chicago to like
Mhm.
rural Illinois, and then being from like Minnesota. It's like, I mean, if you talk about the Midwest, like people who don't live in the Midwest say that Midwest people have a certain like energy about them, but I mean, there still is a big difference between being from Chicago and being from Minnesota, even though they're both in the Midwest.
Oh, completely different. It's completely different. Well, I mean, like, because you love talking about it, you can walk 2 streets over in the city of Chicago, be in a completely different culture. That's why there's so like gang ties and street things. You know,
Yeah,
it's
that's a good
just
point.
it's all completely different. It just comes down to who do you vibe with.
Right.
Who do you vibe with? It's a
I
vibe
learned,
thing.
yeah, I learned a little bit about that watching No Jumper as well. When, like you do have different people from different areas of California that are coming from like these hoods, and like you know, you will have one hood that's literally like a couple of streets over from another hood, and they're completely different people. You know, it's like literally different cultures. You know, they dress different, they talk different. It's a thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably the same thing over here in Chicago as well. And that's
You
where
go
that's
to
where you get all the gang beef.
you go to Chinatown, and then you cross the street, and then just out of nowhere, everything that you it's like you're in another country, instantly, and you're just it's
Yeah.
like crossing the railroad tracks, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot
Really
going on.
Mm-hmm. What type of tree would you be?
I think you asked me this once.
Have I?
Maybe. Probably a pine tree.
Didn't we just talk about this?
Maybe. I feel like you've asked me this question before.
Oh yeah, because we were talking about it was in the habits episode where we were saying about being buried and like stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because I said that you might be a palm tree.
Yeah, I could kill a palm tree. I need to live somewhere where there's a palm tree.
Yeah, I'd probably be like a pine tree or something.
Pine tree.
Yeah,
Just dropping those annoying needles around every Christmas.
exactly.
What else you got, sir?
Who would you want to meet? Like, celebrity wise, I guess. You know, like whose energy would you want to be around?
I don't want to be around Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he seems goofy.
I think he and I are. I get his humor.
You're Black Ryan Reynolds. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if I was Black Ryan Reynolds, I could do it.
I can see it. Black Deadpool.
Yeah. So I'm putting an application in for The Bachelor to be a bachelor.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
How crazy
Are
would
you
it
being for real right now? Yo, you're wild. That's for real a you thing to do.
How crazy would it be if they accept me?
Dude. Yeah, that'd be some crazy shit. I don't even know how to respond to that. Although one of the podcasts I listen to now, Modern Wisdom, Chris Williamson, he got his start on Love Island.
Really?
Yeah, I mean there is a thing about podcasters being on these, you know, dating shows. Give it a shot.
I feel like I could. Yeah, I feel like I could. I wouldn't want to win because I feel like I would just like want to sit in the background and then just like watch all the drama go on. And I'm like,
what is your goal exactly going into this?
You want to just on air right now, on air right now. Cause like you're telling me, what if like I meet the girl, right, and then she says something wild like, cause I'm gonna ask questions like, is your dad bald? She's like, oh yeah, my dad got bald. I don't want to marry her. I'm sorry, if your dad's bald, ladies, I don't want my kids to be bald growing up. I don't want them. I don't. And then what if you're like...
That's the deal breaker? That's your criteria?
Yeah. And what if she says some crazy stuff like, she's like, it's like, I'm vibing with her. I'm like, yeah. And then she says, oh, I haven't showered in a week.
That's gross.
Right?
I'd rule that out too.
Right?
No,
but I'm
gross.
still supposed to be like, I'm in love with you. No, I'm going to look at all these other clowns. Like, I'm so excited to go on a date with Jessica. I'm like, Jessica ain't showered since Thursday.
Right.
And it's
You're just
Wednesday.
thinking it in your head in the back. Literally in the back of the shot. And all that's going through your mind is, bro, she doesn't even shower. She'll look like.
She's like, Miles, here's a rose. I'm like, keep your rose. I don't want that thing. Sanitize it first.
That might have been, you going on The Bachelor might have been the wildest shit I've heard all year. I did not expect you to say that. It's February 8th, and that is probably the wildest thing I've heard all year.
I'll do it for the squad.
I bet you would do it. You got anything else?
No, I'm vibed out. Have you brushed your teeth with orange juice yet?
No, stop asking me.
Why am I going to stop asking you? I'm going to keep asking you.
I'm not going to do it.
I will ambush you when we go to the cabin with orange juice in the morning.
That's weird. You're going to put stuff in my mouth?
No.
You're weird.
Don't be surprised at the lengths I'll go to get what I want.
That sounds a little rapey.
It does a little bit. That was a little sus. That was a little sus, I will say. It was
Like that. I don't know if I want to go to the cabin with you anymore. What the fuck was that?
It was a bit sus.
I got something else to say.
What you got? What you got?
Bitch, don't kill my vibe.
Ooh. You know, you should freestyle us out.
Bitch, don't kill my vibe. I'm with my tribe.
Ooh.
I like to write because I'm a scribe.
Ooh.
I don't take bribes.
Oh.
I'm just looking for a bride.
Ooh.
I think that's all I got.
No, you have to end it with what did you just say? I'm just looking for my bride.
Yeah.
I'm flowing like the tide.
Ooh. All these
It's
emotions,
time.
it's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry. It's time for me to hide. Cause I'm
Miles is
not
a pilot 'cause he likes to fly.
I'm trying to end it, man. I'm trying to end it.
Sorry, go ahead.
When
Finish
I
up.
have to go off, I'm a pilot because I like to fly. My vibe is high, but I'm not shy. I don't know how to end. I don't know.
This
how
is
to end
whack. Why do we do this? This is so bad. Yeah.
You gotta cut this part out, man.
All right. Peace out, y'all.